Sometimes you're just not feeling that inspired to make a beat, and it's absolutely okay. But here are 5 things that I do inside the door, aside from composition, that will increase your productivity and inspire you to make more music. Now there's a bit of a twist this week because on my Discord and often in the comment sections, we've been talking about mental health, and that is paramount. You have to put that foremost before trying to go super hard into finishing beats. So sometimes when I'm not feeling that inspired to finish a whole track, there is just some things that I do to increase my productivity and to continue to learn that I find really beneficial. And I wanted to share that with you guys today. So number 1 is sound design. I work with many professionals all over the world on projects where I solely do sound design. No composition, no beat making, but I just design the Foley elements and sound effects for objects and characters in ads and trailers and films. This all goes hand in hand to inspire me to make better sounds and instruments within my own music. And a lot of it's problem solving as well. How can I take this regular skateboard sound and make it sound more like a speeder bike in a futuristic world? Coming up with the answers to these problems helps me work quicker in the DAW when I'm beat making, but also inspires me to make different sounding instruments. Number 2, another thing that I do inside the DAW when I'm not feeling inspired to make music is I just create effects racks. Firstly, it can be really rewarding to create an effect rack that is going to have some kind of positive effect on your beat making. It can be speeding up your workflow, or it can be something more like last episode where we created a different kind of sound to a very stale instrument. But secondly, it always catches me off guard because every time I create an effect rack, I end up using it on an instrument or using it in a scenario, and then I end up going into applying that to a whole beat. You guys have actually seen some of these effects racks in practice, like the Low Fire plugin that can be downloaded from my Patreon. This was created in the first place because I didn't feel like creating a whole beat. Coming in at number 3 is just learning the ins and outs of a synth. And it doesn't have to be a synth, it could be a third-party plugin, or an Ableton device, or something you're unfamiliar with in the DAW. There's no downside to taking some time to study the tools you use and to become a better producer. Think about it. If you're using something like Serum, do you just download different presets or use the stock ones that come with the instrument? Or do you know where all the FM possibilities are? Do you know the different ways in which you can EQ this instrument? Do you know what all the effects do? Understanding the way that your synth, plugin, device works is always going to speed up your workflow and inspire you in the long run. 4th, similar to number 2, I create templates. Creating templates doesn't have to be musical at all, but it will speed up your workflow when you do feel inspired. I create so many templates. Some of these are set to a specific tempo with some instrument sounds already in there, and others simply have the function to either figure out chords, create progressions, or that I only use in a scenario like live performance. Some of these templates you can also find over on my Patreon. Now, before we go on to our next point, I just want to tell you very quickly about our sponsor, DistroKid. If you're thinking about releasing your music, do make sure that you use DistroKid because they make it so easy to release your music on all the major platforms. This includes Amazon, Apple Music, Spotify, and even social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok. They have an amazing hyper-follow tool that's generated when you upload your music that you can include in your Instagram bio, that when your audience clicks on it, they're able to pre-order, pre-save your music before its release. You can also collect their emails. Now, don't forget that DistroKid automatically generates you an official YouTube page as well, which is a great way to start engaging with your audience and adding a face to your music. And once you claim your YouTube artist page, you can also use their tool Visi to create very quick music videos that react to your beat and can be uploaded to the platform as well. If you want to start releasing your music, make sure that you use the link in the description below to get a discount. Now let's get back to our points. 5th and finally, I like to create sound beds or drones. I think I've covered this in a previous video, but Just looking at the blank canvas can be extremely daunting, especially when you're not feeling 100% inspired to create a beat. But I find that just going into the DAW and creating some drone elements, some different textures that can sit on the floor of your track, and then saving those down for later use can really help inspire you when you start a fresh track. At least this way you're creating some kind of rule. You've got a key in mind, you've got some textures there. Now couple this with a little bit of time away, do some other activities. When you hear these sounds, you may be inspired to start a track. You can sample them, of course, like I said, use them as a sound bed or drone, or it may even just be enough to inspire you to create new sounds completely from scratch. Just off the top of my head, and as a bonus point, I often find it helpful as well to create just content for Instagram and TikTok. Little 15-second videos that can help the community, but are just really fun to create and help you in your beat making as well. I hope you found these tips helpful, guys, and if you did, please do leave a like, subscribe if you're not already, and hit that bell icon so you get notified when the next video goes live. If you're doing anything else to help your productivity and inspiration, do let me know in the comments below, because I would love to add them to my daily routines. As always, guys, I thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.